Idaho says it can use DNA testing to enforce its anti-trans bathroom ban. From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the Hourly News Blast. Advocate is reporting this news from the horrible state of Idaho. Idaho state officials told a federal judge they can test bathroom users to DNA if necessary to enforce a law segregating stalls by gender. Idaho's strict anti-trans law requires people to use public restrooms and changing facilities that correspond with the sex they were assigned at birth. They didn't think this through, did they? When attorneys for plaintiffs challenging the law noted that many transgender people have state-issued IDs reflecting their gender identity, U.S. District Judge Amanda Brailsford questioned how exactly the state would enforce the statute, according to the Idaho Capital Sun. Idaho Solicitor General Michael Zarian told the judge enforcement should be straightforward because there is DNA testing. Pray tell, what's he going to test, poop or pee? But that suggestion raises significant questions about privacy rights and what level of suspicion would be required before Idaho authorities could demand that someone submit to genetic testing. A tool more commonly associated with investigating serious crimes such as rape and murder, not whether you used toilet paper to wipe your butt. Zarian went on to tell the judge that a person would not necessarily need to consent before such testing could occur, though he said he doubted anyone would be expected to submit to testing on the spot. Not as if some idiot cop could possibly do that. But Kel Olson, an attorney for Lambda Legal and a transgender man, said such testing would ordinarily require a warrant issued by a judge. It would also require a laboratory capable of determining whether the test was accurate or not. Olson noted that his own state ID lists his sex as male and argued that the law's impact would be felt by transgender people in routine, everyday situations, especially if they happen to be stuck in Idaho passing through from other states, such as, California, Oregon, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts. Well, you see where this is going. If I just go to a restaurant with my family and want to wash my hands before dinner, this law comes into play. Now I have to stop and decide, if this law is in effect, do I go into the restroom that is illegal now, the men's room? Olson told reporters after the hearing, or do I walk into the women's room and take all of the risk that now comes with whether that's assault or harassment or someone calling the police, because now it looks like I'm violating the law. Advocates have long warned that bathroom bans are difficult to enforce without encouraging people to scrutinize the appearance of strangers in public restrooms, which they shouldn't be doing. Critics say such laws can subject both transgender and cisgender people to harassment when others incorrectly assume someone does not belong in a particular facility. Such incidents have already occurred. In other words, we're reaching the point of papers, please. We are rolling our clock back to 1936 Nazism, idiots. In 2025, a black cisgender lesbian in Arizona said sheriff's deputies confronted her in a Walmart restroom. Oh, God. After someone mistakenly believed she was transgender. She wasn't. Most notably, U.S. Representative Nancy Mace, loser, of South Carolina, who lost the election and came in fifth, and U.S. Representative loser Boebert of Colorado confronted a cisgender woman in a Capitol restroom after mistakenly believing she was transgender. U.S. Congresswoman Sarah McBride of Delaware. There's two morons you definitely don't want to put your trust in. One's a total loser in elections, and the other just goes to theaters for hand jobs. The proposal also collides with reality. Oh, gee, there's something Republicans never do. DNA testing is not something police can perform on the spot because they don't know how and they don't have the tools and they've never studied that level of forensic science. Even in serious criminal investigations, forensic DNA analysis frequently takes weeks or months to complete because samples must be collected correctly, processed, and analyzed in a laboratory. Brailsford, who was appointed to her current spot on the bench by President Joe Biden, is expected to decide soon whether to issue an injunction that blocks enforcement of the law as a challenge plays out in court. Good luck, Potato State folks. You're going to need it. That's the news blast for this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, Alexa, and wherever you find streaming radio, except for Idaho, because they're too damn stupid to listen. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.